Start practicing harder.
You guys can really play.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marin Alsop.
Marin began conducting in 1980. She's currently the chief conductor of the Vienna Radio Symphony Orchestra.
Today, I'll be breaking down clips from movies and TV about orchestras. Technique, Mr. Holland's opus. When he starts the piece, it looks as though it's going to be a very quiet opening. Certainly not in the drums. You really have to set up the drums in a much bigger way. Another big issue I have with this clip is that I can't imagine any student orchestra playing at this level. The high trumpets, the horns, the articulation. This is way, way, way beyond a high school orchestra could possibly play. The character of Mr. Holland, he's basically just beating time. It's a very robotic approach to conducting, with both arms doing the exact same thing. And this is one of the basic conducting issues that we try to discourage our students from doing.
We're not here to impress each other.
Conducting is all about separating your hands so that you can create two different worlds. The right hand controls the pulse, the beat, and has to be in a pattern. A 4 pattern, 2, 3, 4. A 3 pattern, 1, 2, 3, or 2 pattern. And the left hand is all about emotion, about gesture, about dynamics. This is getting louder. This is getting softer. There's a lot that the musicians read from our faces, but mostly it's working on this independence of hands, which he doesn't exhibit whatsoever in this clip. We know that this is a sort of a very empowering and emotional scene. But from watching his gestures, we really wouldn't know that.
Made a little error there.
Lingo, Amadeus.
Come, let's begin.
A minor.
Confutatis. A minor.
The lingo used here is a combination of two things. One is the text for the Requiem Mass, and this is from the Latin text for the Mass. And the section that they're working on is the Confutates.
Confutatis.
So that's actually the lyric that Mozart is composing at that moment.
Yes. Go on. Voca me. Sotto voce. Write that down. Sotto voce.
Yes.
Pianissimo.
When Mozart asks Salieri to please write in sotto voce, that's an Italian instruction that composers use to describe the quality of the sound. And sotto voce means under voice. So it's almost like whispering.
And undictus.
Yes.
And underneath, just violins, arpeggios.
Or the other term, arpeggio. That's when the orchestration outlines the triads, outlines the notes.
Descending scale in eighth notes, and then back to the ostinato again, and that's it.
That's an arpeggio.
Trumpets in D.
No.
Listen to me.
I don't understand.
Listen.
When Salieri says, I don't understand, I don't think that's realistic. He would have definitely understood.
I don't understand.
The director is trying to point out how advanced Mozart was.
Yes. Go on.
I absolutely love this movie. It's historically not 100% accurate.
It was not to be believed.
But it so captures the immense talent of Mozart.
Thank you.
And the sense that he knew what he wanted to write, and he could just put it right into the full score, just out of his head.
As if he were just taking dictation, music already finished, in his head.
Motivation, Whiplash.
rushing or were you dragging?
You know, I can barely discern that he's rushing ever so slightly. But, you know, often musicians, they need a little bit of runway to get into the groove of a piece, especially young musicians. The teacher has absolutely no tolerance for any kind of imperfection.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Count again.
I think this kind of approach, you know, where a teacher breaks a student and then remold them and rebuild them in kind of in their image. It's a very self-centered, narcissistic way of teaching. It can be effective because it's terrifying.
Answer!
But I don't think people learn out of fear.
Start practicing harder, Demon. Whiplash, bar 125.
The music business is highly competitive. It's not unusual in a student setting to have competitions for the first chair. So, you know, this can be either an extremely productive and positive experience, or it can be like it is in Whiplash. It can be a competition almost to the death.
Why are you still sitting there? Get the f*** out!
Novice conductor, Mr. Bean. When I start the opening of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, always have to be very careful not to make a gesture before that opening gesture because somebody will play. And that's what's so cute about this. It makes me laugh out loud. He just moves the baton and he gets a chord. Bah. As a first-time conductor, I definitely give him high marks. He understands the idea of body language and response. And that's what comes across so clearly in this little clip. Conducting a choir, sister act. First of all, I have to say, I love her enthusiasm. You'll notice in this clip, and it's quite realistic, that Whoopi doesn't use any baton. She uses just her hands. This is quite typical of choir conductors. It's more about dictating what's happening and really describing it with both hands, as opposed to very elaborate patterns and trying to give cues to everyone. This is a much more visceral kind of approach to conducting, and I find that with choirs it really works well. I absolutely adore Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's phenomenal in this role.
We can rock this place.
And there's so much heart in it. And I think as a conductor, that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to inspire others to be the best they can be. That's our goal. Rehearsal, unorthodox.
Okay.
The thing that I love about this clip is that the orchestra is really playing the Dvorak String Serenade. The level that they're playing at is a level that would be consistent with a student orchestra.
Dacia, where are you today?
I was playing the wrong bowings.
That's not exactly what a young violinist would say. They would say, I was on the wrong bow, or I was doing the wrong bowings. In essence, what it means is that someone is out of sync.
Where are you today?
When one player in a section is going in opposition, it can really upset the look of the section and the ensemble too, because string sections are accustomed to doing the same bowings at the same time. What we're seeing is the main character trying to imagine herself in this setting. But what I loved about this series is that it didn't pretend to suddenly make a virtuoso out of someone who couldn't possibly have achieved that level yet.
There are singers who are born with beautiful voices, but no one comes out of Brooklyn after a few lessons on the piano or ready to play the Philharmonic.
Instead, it was much more realistic about whether she could get into this conservatory, and if so, on what instrument.
Not on the piano, not ever, I'm sorry.
Imitation, copying Beethoven. We see the premiere of Beethoven's final symphony, his monumental Ninth Symphony. And by this time in his life, he was almost entirely deaf. He's following the conducting of the actress in front of him and really imitating her gestures because, of course, he can't hear the orchestra and can't react to it. It's not an easy thing to do the exact opposite of what you normally do. I actually have played in an orchestra where someone who didn't read music was taught to conduct in this way. It was a very odd thing to experience, but it was quite fascinating in a way to see this kind of symbiotic conducting experience. The premiere of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony could not have possibly sounded this good. The piece was incredibly hard for the orchestra of that day. They only had one day of rehearsal. I want to say, while I enjoy this clip so much, I think that the playing is far too good.
You must experience these works of mine.
Conducting dancers, Mozart in the Jungle. We don't even know where this music is coming from. But this whole scene plays into this maestro mythology, the idea of the conductor as this magician, this inaccessible and talented creature.
It's very mysterious.
That somehow can conjure up music from thin air.
Just like that.
I mean, of course, I don't believe this for a second. This is not really an instance of dancers reacting to the conductor because they clearly have their own choreography and their own movements. I think this whole series, Mozart in the Jungle, has been absolutely wonderful for classical music in terms of bringing it into our homes and demystifying it. But it also is a bit unrealistic. Relationships, meeting Venus.
Members of the orchestra work according to a schedule agreed between the union and the management.
So it was pointless to have a rehearsal yesterday. And it will be equally pointless to talk about my ideas today.
I think this is a fascinating clip because it really gives you some insight into the hierarchy of, who's really in charge.
I beg you to let me work, please.
When we see conductors with orchestras, they are clearly, in the alpha role. But when we see conductors in the opera house, the conductor has to contend, of course, with the musicians.
Will you be here?
I don't know. I haven't looked at my schedule.
You have a diva like Glenn Close.
Carl, may I introduce to you Maestro Santu?
Mm-hmm. You have to deal with that. The conductor is definitely on the bottom of this hierarchy.
Whole aria.
That is not something that would normally happen. The soloist speaks with the conductor and says, what's our plan? What shall we do? And then the conductor would ask the orchestra, please, let's turn to this aria. I have great empathy for the character Santos, the conductor in this clip.
We didn't agree to anything, Maestro. We weren't even here yesterday.
There have been situations that I've been in where, people don't show up or someone's ill, and I've gone to an opera performance and I have a different cast in the evening from what I had at the rehearsal. You have to somehow manage all of these catastrophes.
Do you see what I have to put up with all the time? Can you shut them up, please?
Switching genres. School of Rock. In this scene, Jack Black discovers that his students are really proficient at classical music.
You guys can really play. Why didn't anyone tell me?
Now he wants to introduce them to rock music and make a really fantastic band.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yes.
Classical musicians that go into rock, I think, have a really fun time letting loose.
Okay.
I think when rock musicians come over to classical music, sometimes they're shocked by the rigidity of this style of music.
Nothing could be harder.
What I absolutely love about this scene and about this whole movie is Jack Black's enthusiasm.
Lawrence is good at piano. He shall be rocking in my show.
He's just dying to share his passion with us.
Yes! Oh! All right, let's go!
I think that is the number one criteria for being a conductor, is to want and really insist on sharing one's passion for the music.
Everybody!
It's really about capturing the groove for everything. That's ultimately the conductor's main job, is capturing that groove. So I love it.
All right.
Practice the orchestra rehearsal.
Seguitate, seguitate così. Avanti.
It's clear that no one's playing an instrument. Their bows are going all which ways. They're playing at different times. He's conducting on the wrong beat of the bar. So there's a sense of chaos. When the conductor is speaking while you're playing, you can't hear what he's saying or she is saying. I've certainly never had musicians disrobe down to the skin in rehearsals.
Clarinetto di Toscanini. Vuole prego essere gentile e ripetere lei solo 4 battute dopo di numero 82?
No, maestro. Io ho suonato una volta.
He's trying to catch someone out and really reprimand them in front of the entire orchestra, which I think is inappropriate under any circumstance.
Perché se io al posto di lei penserei un poco meno agli sindacati e un poco più alla musica.
I think there's no turning back for this conductor at this point.
Questa è vita di merda.
The point of this film is the individual characters. And it's the idea of the individual revolting against the establishment, which is represented by the conductor. This is a highly political film, and it's about much more than an orchestra rehearsal. Wrong note. Hannibal, Red Dragon. And Hannibal goes to the concert hall and listens to a performance of Mendelssohn's Midsummer Night's Dream. And he notices a few problems in the orchestra. People make mistakes, and I think it's important as the conductor to notice it, of course. But how the conductor reacts can really impact the entire piece from there on. As soon as you start to kind of reprimand with your face, all the musicians start to go down this path. It can be like a domino effect that everyone starts playing wrong notes or everyone starts having errors. I think think if I were a musician in the orchestra and I looked out and I saw Hannibal sitting in the audience, I would have a bad day and play wrong notes too.
Conclusion.
This was a wonderful experience to look at all of these clips and analyze them. It made me realize what a metaphor music is and how much we connect with it on so many levels.